Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm starting over. I had to go back and do everything over again, but I'm starting over at the cutscene with the drinking. This time, however, I did find a trader and sold off a bunch of stuff, so I'm no longer over encumbered.
Na kraj padł desej smutek, godnielo I rano utek, jetiż małżeński majstak, do wczera żylne staje prach, už sej moji svatý muži, nechtěl bych bejbě jich kůži, nám je to jedno a tak si dáme jedno a požerem si huby jako poslední den. Budeme se bavit a do rána slávy a tak vypal sudy a posaď se mi sem, tak posaď se sem a vypal je ven. Ukaž kozy jako vozy, zítra jen tu jsou nejdem, tak nalej mi hned a točí se svět.
Enough of this! Bailiff! Come on over here, sit down and have a drink with us.
Don't vex me again, Father. It's 3 hours past dusk, and curfew is long gone.
So what?
So, I'll have you all whipped and put in the stocks, and I'll write a letter to the bishop about you, priest.
Well, nothing to worry about then. Everyone knows the only one around here who can ride is me.
Enough! Men, throw them out.
Oh. You looking for a fight? Henry, back me up.
All right, let's do this again.
We'll just have a bit of a punch out.
Yo!
Ow.
It's a sin to fight so bad. You think because I'm a man of the cloth I won't kick your arm?
Hey!
You think because I'm a man of the cloth I won't kick your arm?
All right.
Oh. I almost hit that girl.
So, my dear, would you like to have a little ring on the bell? Closer said than done.
What?
I'd love to. And Henry, too, I'm sure. Right, Henry?
Stop that nonsense, Godwin. Are you out of your mind? What will people say?
They can say what they like. What do I care? What do they do to me? Watch the step, my dears. Careful, you don't hurt yourself.
Godwin, you're a buffoon.
Can I follow or? Oh, sorry.
Here we are. Look at this beauty.
Oh. We can't do this, can we?
Who says? Get ringing, wench.
This is wonderful.
Ah, bloody oath. And now, my dears, comes the climax of the evening.
Gee, was that innuendo?
Godwin, you old goat.
Come here. Oh,
That's interesting.
Well, I have to say that was a fine evening.
Godwin, you beast! Get up! Do you hear me? Wake up, you drunkards!
Oh, fucking hell. Where the... Oh, what the... Oh, who the hell are you? Oh, Henry. My great friend, Henry. Didn't we have a wonderful time?
Well, you certainly did, you old lecher. Now you better pull yourself together quick. You haven't much time. There's some water and something to eat on the table there, but if I were you, I would move my hairy arse before my flock eats me alive.
Oh, stay on in my head. My guts. Oh, my poor suffering stomach. What was that woman on about? Before my flock eats me alive. I've forgotten something. What have I forgotten?
Where the fuck am I?
What the fuck was it? Oh. Mass! Oh shit, I have to say mass. I gotta say mass. You have to help me.
How? You're the priest.
I can't do it in this state. Maybe the liturgy. But I have to give a sermon as well. Oh, this is a disaster. They're gonna excommunicate me.
I'd like to help you, but...
You can. You can do the sermon for me.
What? So, first I investigate a murder no one wants investigated. Then I drunkenly keep the whole town up all night. And now you want me to preach at them from the pulpit? Do you want them to burn us at the stake?
No. No, I've got it. Suppose that Sir Ratzig's protege. You just came from studying in Prague. And you want to share the words of Master Jan Hus, who you recently heard preaching there. Henry, look. From what I remember, we might have overdone it a bit last night. And if the bailiff or someone else complains about me, the bishop's gonna have my guts for garters. So I'd appreciate it. Stop gaping at me like a stuffed squirrel and start helping.
You're mad. You're stark raving mad.
I'm not. It's a perfect plan. It's flawless. Oh. How about this? If you help me with this, I'll tell you who Lubosh's cronies are.
All that about the sanctity of confessional, eh? Yeah, new perk available.
So all at once the confessional seal isn't so sacred?
Don't mock me. I won't give you a second chance.
We'll never get away with it.
Not if you make a hash of it.
Well, all right. But I can't make any promises about what'll happen.
No, neither can I.
What do you want me to do exactly?
I'll go and start the liturgy. Then I'll introduce you. You give the sermon I told you yesterday in the tavern, and that's that. No need to drag it out. If it turns out well, I'll tell you what I know about Lubosh.
Christ almighty.
Wonderful. Let's get to it then.
I think this is supposed to help with hangovers, right? Oops, no. Still looks like I have a hangover. Maybe it's a scripted hangover. Or maybe that icon doesn't mean hangover. In which case I just wasted that.
I thought he'd never show up. The swill pup.
Look at him. He can hardly walk after his capers last night.
You were with them, you beast. Just you wait.
Look at him. Mother of God, any minute now he'll throw up.
Why am I not wearing any clothes?
So I couldn't sleep a wink last night with all that clamor.
In nomine Patris, et Filii, et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Accepit panem in sanctas at venerabiles a manus suas. Hac facite in meam commemorationem. Brothers and sisters, you may have had the honor of meeting Henry from Skalitz, who is here at the behest of Sir Hanush to investigate that heinous crime at Neuhof. You might not know that Henry recently visited Prague, where, by the grace of God, was able to hear Master Jan Hus from the esteemed Charles University preaching. I've managed to persuade Henry to stand here today in my stead and tell us what he heard. Because, as you all probably know, Jan Hus is a very popular preacher in Prague. So, Henry, you may begin.
Now I'm curious which one of them will puke first.
Brothers and sisters, let me get straight to the point. I'd like to talk about the church and how corrupt it is.
Boy has a cheek.
Creation has given to every man the power by which he might rule the whole world. But that power does not give him the right to rule. That right belongs to God alone. It is the corruption of God's pastors here on earth that has brought misfortune on our heads. Plague, humans, hunger, and chaos. The accursed wealth that the church is drowning in is poisoning almost the whole of Christendom. When dogs are fighting over a bone, take the bone and they will stop. Just like the flock of ravens that has descended on this land to peck up every speck of gold and silver. They show no mercy. Their hearts are poisoned by covetousness. They trade everything. Everything is for sale. You want to baptize a child? Pay. You want to steal and murder? Pay, and you will have absolution. And the prelates sin and give themselves absolution.
For shame, shame upon them.
And what sins? They live with harlots and keep concubines, even though only marital intercourse for the purpose of procreation is pure. If someone takes a woman or man only to satisfy their own lust, who seduces them to do so but Satan? And how much darker the sin if that man is a servant of the church? Who can turn his face to God, who fornicates and then puts on priestly robes?
Nothing we don't know about already.
Enough about sin, which the prelates are so fond of preaching about, and whose absolution they promise if you only pay enough coin to Mother Church. What if the devil himself were to pay? Will the bishops tell us he too would ascend to heaven? And what about those bishops? They sin without remorse, and with the money grasped from the poor for indulgences, they keep fine horses and hordes of servants to pamper them. They play dice and garb their mistresses in expensive furs, while Christ, the Lamb of God, walked barefoot and had nowhere to lay his head. Look to your consciences, you robbers of the poor, for you are seen by God and his people too.
Down with the prelates! Away with them!
We're fortunate to have our good Father Godwin. At least he's a fair and simple man.
God sees what is happening on earth, and he is filled with righteous wrath that those who should seek the salvation of souls instead seek mammon and the idle comfort of lucrative posts. Blessed are the shepherds who share the poverty of their flock, who are as one with you and bear with you the burden of this earthly pilgrimage, who do not condemn your venial sins.
Oi! All honour to Godwin! Let him drink like one of us!
That is all I heard in Prague. Amen.
I think it went well.
The lad spoke well, considering what a soak he is.
He's right, that huss.
The young man shouldn't drink so much, but the Lord's given him a
I'm
silver
glad he
tongue.
came here. I don't suppose I'll ever get to Prague, but he told it nicely.
Well, well, my boy, you have talent, and I can't deny it. And you pulled a thorn from my side. I almost didn't make it.
Yeah, I noticed. I wasn't the only one.
Oh, what's to be done? I'll make it up somehow.
So, about our bargain.
Although it's a sin.
So gluttony and fornication.
God does forgive a penitent.
So, what did Limpy Lubosh tell you? Was he at Neuhof that day? Who was with him? And where are they now?
Now, slow down. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that much.
Don't let me down after all I've been through. For you...
Well, now Lubosh came to me shortly after it happened. His conscience was gnawing at him. And I must say, in the end, he turned out to be a better man than he looked. He said they'd been hired through some crony of theirs. And at first they were just to steal some horses. But then it all turned sour and people started getting killed. And neither he nor his cronies wanted anything to do with that. So they fell out from the gang and fled.
Fell out?
Yeah, there was a body found in the woods by Neuhof.
That would explain something. Lubosh kept jabbering that he wasn't a murderer, that he didn't want to do it.
So I know that Lubosh killed the murderer and he's dead too. The trouble is, I need to find the ones who are still alive. I need names and places. Did he mention any of the others?
Only nicknames. Talked about some fella called Riki from Ledechko, Pius, Timmy.
Pius. That lot are about as pious as I am ordained.
Nonsense. You would make an excellent priest. And anyhow, with your skills, you ought to be able to sniff out this Riki from Ledechko, right?
Well, we'll have to now. There's not much else to go on. Let's hope he's not hanging from the wall too.
Indeed. And I'd hate to be excommunicated for nothing. Anyhow, good luck. You watch out for yourself. These people clearly mean business. And I'd like to raise a tankard with you again sometime.
Yeah, I'll try. Although I'm not sure I'd survive another night of your debauchery.
And if anyone should ask, you heard nothing from me. I'll deny everything.
I don't doubt it.
Okay.
Are you serious?
What? So where did I leave my horse? I love jumping over things. Alright, I need some stuff that's in decent condition. Oh, I have one of these. I didn't even notice. I don't know when I picked it up, but... I got a... Since this is armor, I actually want stuff that's better defense than worry about condition later. Do I already have some boots? I don't have anything on the chest. Apparently I don't have anything for the main body. Armor-wise anyway, I've got that. Alright, that'll have to do. Yeah, I don't meet the minimum agility for that. Or that. What's up, my horse? Okay, I have spurs. Still got drunkenness and hangover. I used a marigold decoction, so it should have gotten rid of the hangover, but I think I took it before I got the hangover icon. I only had the drunkenness icon. Okay, so that's probably why. And I don't think I have another one, so... Drinking. What do we have here? That's a useful one. But I don't plan on drinking much, so none of this matters. Alright, let's look at the map. Where are we going? Well, in that case, I think it's time to head back to Utai. See if we get any random encounters along the way. It's getting a little late in the day, but not super late. I think it's been a few days since I left, so maybe the miller's gold has reset. So I can sell him some stuff. Pretty sure I already picked these, so those have reset at least. So there's Teresa. So where's the miller? Is he inside? Yeah, there he is.
How are you, Henry?
I'm good. You got money now?
Greetings.
I've got some goods here whose owners might miss them.
All right. Let's see what we can do about that.
Trader's wealth, 1K. All right. Yeah, I may switch to the mace because it's not above my stat right now. I'll come back to that. But it's not as, or the bludgeon is not as good as the mace, so obviously I'll sell that. Sell those. Sell. Oh, wow. I went way over his, okay, still way over. Alright, basket. I will take back, let's close that. I need to drop it by at least 500, so let's take that back. And let's take that back. Let's take these two back. Alright. Let's haggle.
Can we do something about the price?
Sure, why not?
Give me all your money.
Aye. For that amount, I can be persuaded.
Cool. Now let's go dump everything else in here. Wow, I had 4 of those? No, that's... never mind. Oh, I bought some dried mushrooms. I figured they would last a while and they're decent for nourishment, so... let's see... I'm gonna hang on to these like that for now, just so I can sell them to various merchants. $3.4K now. That's 3.5 pounds of lockpicks. Don't think I need that many on me. So I'm gonna drop off 21, keep 15. Alright, I'm down to 61. I think that's the best I'm actually gonna get right now. Just drop 3 of those torches. I don't know if they actually run out or not. Never had it actually happen, so... let's see. I wish these arrows would like form one stack, even though they're different. It wouldn't make any sense, but I kind of wish they would, just so we would clear up the clutter in the inventory. Or have their own tab. That would be fine too. Alright. And time. What time is it? It is after 6 p.m.? Yeah. Let's get some sleep. In our own bed for once. Can't sleep any longer. Oh well. Sleep as long as we can. Because I don't want to be traveling at night. Probably hungry. Yeah, it may be getting time for another bath. Alright, let's look at the map. Okay, so he's north here. Wait, didn't I go down that way on my way to the other millers? Or is that over here? So how did I get there? Never mind. I don't want to know. So I basically need to head north and a little bit to the west. Just seeing if this is a place that'll give me some kind of notification or something. But apparently not. And I need to get on the other side of this river. Has the map cleared up a little bit? Yes, but not well enough. I'm just going to follow the... Oh, this looks actually like a shallow section. This might be awesome. Although it's just woodlands over here, so... This isn't Skyrim. Come on. It may as well be, though, because I'm practically going straight up on a horseback. Oh, there we go. That's as high as I can go on the horse. Come on, horses can climb mountains, can't they? Skyrim has taught me well. Let's check the map again. Okay. So yeah, I would have had to go a long way to cross the river at a road. Well, I suppose I should have just gone over that way and then came this way. Oh well. Looks like I can keep going straight because this looks like it curves back around. Wait. Okay. So I can either... You know what, I'm gonna turn left overland. Actually, I'm going to go more like diagonal and try and hit it up at this curve here. Although it looks like this is mostly downhill now, so probably should be a little careful. The other problem with going on horseback everywhere is I lose a lot of the opportunity to, oh, well, there's the town I was looking for. I lose a lot of the opportunity for taking flowers. Okay, so this is the town I was looking for then. Well, it's on the other side of the river. Texture pop in. I discovered a grindstone. I could probably use that. And a blacksmith. No, good sir.
God be with you.
Actually, while I'm here... Okay, let's haggle a bit about the price, I guess. Oh, crap, I didn't hold it down, I just... Never mind. Oh well. I have money.
I'm looking for a fellow called Riki. Do you know him?
You mean Hinek? He's the tanner's son, isn't he?
Any idea where I could find him?
I don't know. Tried his folks' house, but he doesn't spend much time there.
So you know this Hinek? Can you tell me something about him?
Not much, I confess. Most of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why's that?
No one with a nose likes spending too much time around tanners. And that Riki keeps bad company. I've never heard a good word said about him.
What can you tell me about the old courier?
He's as cantankerous as a hog in a thorn bush. He won't talk to anyone.
Don't tell me there's not a single person who talks to him.
He's been seen around with one of the bathhouse wenches. Adela, I believe she's called.
Why has he got such a bad name?
Well, like his own man. He doesn't talk much to anyone. And then he's always skulking off somewhere. I heard he got a taste of the pillory in Rattay for thieving. And in Neuhoff he got boozed up in the alehouse with his cronies and they beat up some merchants.
So a bit more than high spirits.
Just so. We're all honest folk here, and we've no use for the likes of him.
Well, I'll be taking him off your hands then.
Is something troubling you?
I wouldn't say it's troubling me exactly, my boy, but I've heard talk about the Sasso blacksmith and I'm losing sleep over.
What talk might that be?
They say they've heard him chanting when he tempers steel, and that nothing of his ever breaks.
And how could I help with that?
Simple enough. Go there and find out if there's any grain of truth in it.
I suppose asking costs nothing.
Just don't ask him outright about any sorcery.
Don't worry, I'm not that daft.
Good, good. And don't worry. You won't be the poorer for it. Once you find out what's what, I'll find a way to recompense you.
All
right. I'll go and see if there's anything to the stories.
Good. But be subtle about it. Don't go embarrassing yourself. Or me.
Riki's father, bathhouse wench. Well, his father's right here, so may as well check there first.
God be with you.
I'm looking for a fellow called Riki. Have you ever heard of him?
Sure. Why wouldn't I? That's what they call my son, Hinek.
Ah, you wouldn't happen to know where he is, would you?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you at least know where he usually goes? It's important.
Hinek shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick and Harry?
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
But this time his neck's on the block. He got mixed up with some very dangerous people. I have to find him.
All right. He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow.
Hinek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
Well, it's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Thank you. Don't you have any clue at all where his hideout could be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there is all.
How's that?
Because every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
He had money because he sold the stuff right away?
I suppose. He never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
No. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him coin. Of course, it could have been for me.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then. What more do you know?
Nothing. I swear to God Almighty, I've said all I know.
All right. Calm down.
I know he didn't talk to you about it, but you must have noticed something, right? How much time did he spend away? What was he wearing? How did he look when he came back? Anything?
Well, he came and went at all sorts of hours. I really don't know. Except maybe one thing. He'd come home scratched with brambles and with leaves and muck on him.
So he probably went through thick woods to get to that place.
I reckon. What do I know?
All right. I think we've pretty much exhausted that one.
What the hell was that?
Dude, there's a bridge here. It's not much of one, but it's a bridge. You look like a friend I beat up. Milan. Archery range? Oh. Let's say I don't see any targets.
God be with you.
What's with the targets? Are you an archer by any chance?
I notice you're asking questions. Are you the Inquisition by any chance?
No, I'm Henry, of Skalitz.
From Skalitz? I'm Vatek, from here. Why are you so curious about the targets?
It's just that I sometimes try my hand at archery too.
Try your hand, do you? I know plenty who do. When you can score as high as me at chumps, then I might be impressed.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
Never played chumps? And you call yourself an archer? All right, Henry, listen up. Chumps is a game for real archers. It tests your strength, stamina, and accuracy. And it can be a nice little earner. Unless you're, well, a chump.
So what exactly is it?
I'll tell you. A bunch of logs are floated down the river. Then you count to 20, and the archers run along the banks after the logs. At the end of the course, someone collects all the logs and counts the strikes. Whoever has the most, always meaning me, wins the bout. Each archer has 20 arrows with their own coloured fletching, and the contest ends when the last log floats through the finish line.
Sounds like good fun.
Fun? My friend, it will bring you out in a proper sweat, and you'll be well pleased to hit just 1 or 2 blocks. So how about it then? Fancy a bout? You'll need your own bow, but I'll supply the arrows with coloured fletching.
Yeah, sure.
I do.
Try.
Come on, then. Ah, one more chump. Excellent. Now you have to bet at least 10 groschen, 50 at most. There'll be 3 archers competing at the time. The winner gets triple his wager, and the second gets his coin back. So how much will you bet?
Oh, I don't want to lose the shirt off my back. I'd best be careful.
That's the betting over with. Now here are your arrows.
I'm not quite sure exactly how this works.
Now, I'll see you at the finish.
Ah, well, I won't miss the next one.
Can't even tell if I hit one.
Hit home!
I won't miss the next one.
I see my arrow now, so I think I hit.
Let's see you beat that. You've no chance against me, amateurs.
The wind took it.
Dang it.
What the hell are you doing?
Oh, well, I
Too
won't miss
high.
the next one. Jesus, look where you're going.
Okay, so we do move along the riverbanks.
Almost had it.
Dang it. I think I'm not drawing the arrow back far enough. It's hard to tell when it's fully
The
drawn.
wind
though.
took it.
You've no chance against me, amateurs.
Okay.
Got it.
Ah, come on.
Hit home.
Sometimes it goes far, sometimes it doesn't. It's hard to tell.
I've got this easy.
Hit.
You've no chance against me, amateurs.
You're right about that. I was trying to lead it, but apparently I lead too far.
Almost had it.
Oh, well, I
Try and
won't
get
miss the
ahead
next
of it.
one.
You've no chance against me, amateurs. I've got this easy.
That looked like it should have hit. Ah, come on. I wonder if my problem is that I'm actually not good enough for this bow. Oh, I'm out of arrows.
No
Hit
chance
home.
against me, amateurs.
Now, how far away is this finish line?
What the hell?
Let's see you beat that.
Put that weapon away, damn it.
Oops. Sorry, wrong button.
Damn, missed.
Hit home.
I've got this easy.
Time's up, folks. One last
Another
arrow
on
and that's
time.
it.
Let's see you beat that.
So, how did it go?
You came last, lad. But chin up. As soon as you make some money, you can stop by here again and lose it all.
What's that?
Apparently I went too far.
I heard you've been seeing Hinek, the tanner's son.
So what? Come to preach at me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner, that I seduce decent men?
Really care.
I just wanted to ask you a few questions. It's not my business how you live your life.
I'm glad to hear it. Some folk don't care for the way I make a living.
I can imagine.
So what about you then? You look a bit careworn. A bath with a bit of company might do you good.
Maybe later, sweetheart. Right now, I have some questions to ask.
Ask away then.
Where can I find Hinek?
I haven't seen him in the village for a few days. He must have run off to the woods again.
Does he do that often?
From time to time.
What the hell does he get up to there?
I don't know.
I found out that Hinek goes poaching in the woods and he's got a hideout there. What do you know about it? Don't worry. Hinek has much bigger problems than being caught poaching. And you're not involved in it anyway, are you?
No, I'm not. It's true he used to go hunting in the woods sometimes. When he came back, he'd usually come to me. That's all.
Do you know what route he took? At least the general direction. Anything that could help me find his hideout.
I think he usually went through the woodcutter's camp, 'cause he always brought me freshly chopped firewood, and he had wood chips on his boots.
Good. So at least I know where to start. Do you know who he sold it to?
He never told me straight up. But who could he sell it to? The innkeeper, I reckon. It makes sense.
For sure. When did you last see him?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
And that was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came to me sober.
So he was acting strangely that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He keeps prattling on and didn't seem to care about you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Okay, innkeeper is B.
God be with you.
I want to ask about the courier's son, Hinek.
But ask someone else. They've nothing to do with Riki. He'd only drive my customers away.
Really? I heard a different story. I heard the two of you do business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hinek's. He's gone missing and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is. But if you find the bastard, tell him he still owes me some goods.
I've no time for this. I have to find Hinek, and you're going to help me.
Am I now? Even if I did know, why the hell would I help you?
This is a nice alehouse you have here. It would be a shame if anything happened to it.
Are you threatening me?
What do you think? So are you going to talk, or do I have to beat it out of you?
Certainly, I'll fetch you
Fine.
right away.
Let's get to the point then.
See now? Where there's a will, there's a way.
I did some deals with Riki, but I swear to God, I don't know where he is.
I hear Hinek has a hideout in the woods he uses for hunting game. Do you know where it is?
Not exactly. That is... I don't know where it is at all.
But
I happen to know it's a dark place, a cave or an old mine shaft.
How do you know that?
Whenever Riki was going poaching, he always came to me first for candles and lamp oil. He brought the game skinned and gutted, so we had to have a light for that.
And do you know of any mine shafts nearby?
There's a few of them around. There's one on the opposite bank, a short way off the path leading from the forge to the west. Then there's a mine gallery to the east of the village, up in the woods above the cliffs. And I heard there's one shaft on the headland close to the water.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Watch you don't break your neck, though. It's rough ground, and you could easily fall down a shaft.
How much game did he bring you?
Not much, a few pieces. There's no great demand here. Sometimes the gentry has something, otherwise it ends up in sausages.
Alright. I feel that's given us a couple of leads. Was us track down Ricky. I'm sure he's not here. Cave and woodcutter's camp. Well, these two are in the same direction, so I'll be heading that way. But I think this has been long enough for an episode. Once again, I'm terribly disorganized and wasn't really paying attention to the time, so for all I know, I've gone way past the time and I'll have to split this episode up, like I did before. But at any rate, thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.